Good evening and welcome to our fans' fortnightly streaming event of Meet Your Maker. Tonight we're joined with Alia Ghafar, the director of Salt and Sauce. Alia, could you please introduce yourself and your film?
I'm a writer and director based in Glasgow. Salt and Sauce I've made 3 years ago now. It was my graduation film from studying at Edinburgh College of Art on the film programme there. So it was my grad film, and I would say it was kind of the first short film I properly made. I don't really count everything I did before. First time kind of working with like a crew properly and stuff like that. I kind of don't want to say too much else. I guess we can just show it and then see what questions folk have. That's me.
All right. We bastards. Weren't we meant to be open 20 minutes ago?
Aye, and you were supposed to be here 15 minutes before 20 minutes ago.
All right, sorry, boss. Where's your mum?
She's not here. She's at the wholesalers. She left me a note saying I had to phone that creep Ricky about the fridges. Why is this playing up?
Let's see. She just needs a bit of tender loving care in the morning. You best oil her up. And I'll see you the chips. So go easy on a nice girl like you.
For fuck's sake.
You Davy Simpson definitely fancies you.
Lucky me.
All right, boys, what's having?
Chips.
4 chips and a king rib. Just for a couple of minutes, all right?
Right, Tammy.
Davy, can you cover me? I'm gasping for a fag.
All right.
You're a star. Give Irene her food, will you?
There you go, Irene. The usual.
Oh, thanks, Pete.
Can I have 1 fish supper and 1 black pudding supper, please? Oh, hello, you. I didn't realise you worked here. How are you?
Yeah, good, thanks. You?
I'm good, Jim. I'm just out for the weekend. It's all so weird coming back.
Oh, really? You're in
Glasgow, yeah. Oh, it's amazing. I met so many lovely people, and it's just nice living in a big city, you know?
Yeah.
I don't normally eat this kind of thing anymore, to be honest. Like, my flatmate Stella and I are thinking of going vegan.
Oh, yeah? You think about putting some vegan options on the menu?
Oh, yeah, you totally should. Everyone's doing it these days.
Salt and sauce?
Just on 1, yeah. So is this just a kind of gap year thing?
Yeah, kind of.
Oh wait, sorry, 2 minutes. Just gonna take a wee picture. Cute. So, what unis are you applying for?
Not really applying anywhere just now. I've not really got a plan at the moment.
Oh right. All right, that's cool. Yeah. I wish I was as laid back as that. You're so lucky.
Yeah, thanks. That'll be 8:20.
There you go.
What? Anybody's gonna come in. It's not like they're gonna rob the till, are they?
Hiya.
Hiya.
What can I get you?
Small chips, please.
Salt and sauce?
Yes.
180, please.
There you go.
Cheers. Thank you.
Cheers.
Right. What's up?
Nothing.
All right, ladies. Any more deliveries?
No.
Jordan, could you do a few extra shifts next month? I'm thinking about going away with the girls.
I would, Kate, but actually I've got a place at college starting.
That's the first I've heard of it.
Just got the letter the other day. Music production. Thought I may as well apply.
Oh, well, good on you. Don't worry about it. I can get somebody else, and Tammy can cover.
Maybe I won't be here.
Where are you going to be then?
We're not open yet. We don't open until 12.
I'm sorry, Kate, but the cafe shut. Do you mind if I sit for a minute?
Yeah, sure. Battered sausage and chips.
No, you finish your tea.
Do you want one?
What is it we know that people want to make you a cup of tea all the time? Have you been taking pictures?
Yeah, just people I see around here. It's nothing interesting, really.
Can I have a look?
Yeah, sure.
You've got a real eye for this, pet.
Thanks.
Here, let me show you a photograph. That was me. I was about your age there.
You did magic shows?
I was sawed in half, pulled doves from his sleeves, and you should have seen some of the outfits I wore. I did this act with a strong man who used to lift me up in a chair with his teeth. I remember one night I had this dress on that buttoned up the back, and when he lifted me up, the dress burst. I had to waddle around the stage for the rest of the night trying to hide my knickers. We did the dance halls in Scotland. We did the holiday camps down south. And then we went to America.
America? Were you not scared being so far away?
Of course, but it was exciting. We didn't have very much most of the time. But you've got to take the shite with the good sometimes, don't you?
Yeah.
I think I might have that cup of tea now.
Coming right up. Can I?
I thought you'd never ask.
I'm gonna do something soon. I'm gonna do something very, very soon. Tomorrow afternoon. On the moon. I'm gonna do something soon.
Oh, absolutely gutted that it froze like 3 seconds before the end. Technology. What you gonna
Technology,
do?
that's exactly it. Just before we go on with the Q&A, I would just like to add, if anyone's got any questions, feel free to interact in the comment section and I'll be sure to answer them. The first question is, how did you find your story and what was the inspiration behind it all?
Yeah, so I kind of went into my final year of uni knowing that I was gonna write and direct a short film. And I didn't really have a clear story from the get-go. I think I more had ideas that I wanted to explore. So at the time I just spent the summer like working in a little shop in Edinburgh where I was studying. And I was kind of like, yeah, struck by this thing of, it's quite a small shop with not many customers, and this feeling of kind of spending a lot of time on your own, being at work, and like these long days and how you kind of fill the time. And I think as well, knowing that I was going to be graduating soon with like a film degree, and like what do you do with that? I was sort of having a wee bit of an existential crisis and thinking about this idea of just being young and not being sure what you actually want to do, and feeling like other people are maybe moving faster than you or doing more than you. So yeah, it was like lots of different little ideas around that sort of took me to this character who is working in a chip shop. She's finished high school. She doesn't really know what she wants to do. And exploring, yeah, how that would feel and how the way she interacted with other people affects her. So yeah, it was a combination of things, and I think I just really like the way chip shops look. And I was like, oh, I like the idea of like setting something in a chippy. I think chip shops are interesting as well because it's kind of like an example of a place where so many different kinds of people pass through. Like everyone goes to the chippy. So I quite liked that as a place to set it. And then I had these themes I wanted to look at. And it just kind of like grew from there, really.
Cool, perfect. Just kind of following on from there, my next question is, what was your biggest challenge? Was the chip shop a challenge at all?
Yeah, that was really difficult. especially like it's a student film, so it's not like we had funding or like a big budget or anything like that. So it was literally me and the producer Clara, who was a student with me at Edinburgh College of Art, just like ringing round all these chippies in Edinburgh. I remember there was one that was like, it was really nice. It was like pink and red inside. It looked like something from like a Wes Anderson film. I can't even remember what it was called now. And going in and like begging them, like, please, could I maybe make a film in here? But like, I'm so happy with the one we got in the end. So it's a chip shop called Duddingston Fry in Edinburgh, and yeah, we were just so lucky that after calling lots of people and them saying no, the people who ran that chippy, they were just so up for it, and they were like really happy to help us out for not too much money. And we were there for like 5 days. And we had to film before the chip shop opened every day. So it was one of these chippies that opens at like 3:30 in the afternoon. So we'd be in from 7 and like setting up, and then we'd be like taking everything down as they come in to start like putting the fryers on and everything. So it was a bit crazy, but I think like I'm so glad we did it, because I just think there's something about that kind of old-fashioned chip shop and the way it looks that I think, you know, kind of maybe gives a uniqueness to the film. You don't see too many films set in chippies.
No, yeah, absolutely not. Did you have any other challenges casting? Was that quite easy, Ozzy, or?
Yeah, like I guess when I was younger, I sort of did drama and stuff like that, and wanted to act. So for me, like casting is like, and working with actors in general is like one of the most exciting parts of filmmaking, really. But it was tricky. But I actually had Flora Bird, who's the main actress. I'd seen her in a student film the year before in one of the graduation films, and I thought she was brilliant. Like she was doing like a very different role, but she just really stuck in my head. So we auditioned quite a few people, including her, and I was like, but I'll see lots of people. And then I just thought she was brilliant. And to me, she felt like the character. And then, yeah, I found that like, so I was quite clear on what I had in mind for that. But Jordan, who Michael Dallas plays, who works with Tammy at the Chippy, that was a wee bit trickier. In terms of like, I saw quite a lot of people, no one was quite right. And then Michael had been like an acting student at Edinburgh Napier, and I'd done this wee like exercise with him like 2 years before, and I just remembered him one day, and I was like, oh, that guy, we should audition that guy. And he came in, and it was like kind of that wee light bulb moment where he was just absolutely brilliant. But it was a wee bit challenging, because I think a lot of the time when you're making a student film or something low budget, it's easy to meet people that are kind of the same age as you. But finding like, I knew I needed someone that was like older to play Irene, and I knew that I needed some kids and stuff like that. So it was a few different things. Like I volunteered at a youth club, and so I managed to get some like school kids from there, and then I got in touch with like some theatre groups that were like focused on like retired people, and that's how I met Dorothy. But yeah, it takes ages to cast. Like it's quite a long process, but it's always something I really enjoy, and you end up like meeting people you never would meet otherwise, which is really cool, I think.
Yeah, I so relate. I'm in my last year of uni just now, and I'm producing 2 films, and golly gosh, the casting process is hard.
Yeah, it's really hard. I mean, even the film I just made, which we had some funding to do, and kind of like, you know, because student films, everyone's doing it just for expenses, for free and everything. But, and like, even when you can pay people, it's still really hard. Yeah. And takes, I think we were doing like auditions for about 3 months or something, like every other weekend. So it's a lot of work, but once you get there, it's worth it, because it's so important.
You don't want to have to do it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
As a collaborator, how did you work with your cast and crew? Was it all kind of easy ozy? Did you have any bumps in the road?
Yeah, I think like I had a great time. Really, it was really good.
So glad.
how it kind of works. Like where I studied at Edinburgh College of Art. Basically, when you're in your final year and you're directing a film, all the students from the younger years act as your crew. So it's nice because you kind of know everyone. They're sort of your mates already, and everyone mucks in. But no, everybody was like totally brilliant and really good to work with. I mean, I think these films are like, it's tricky. It's just hard work making a film anyway, but you know, especially when it's like you've got no money and hardly any time. But I think we can all just work together and like got on with it and did a really good job. And I don't know, it would frustrate me a lot that like when the film started to screen at festivals, people would be like, oh, it's a student film. And I was like, well, yeah, why? So what? Like, why couldn't this have been made by students? Because I think it's about, you know, it's about people's talent and how they work together. It's like, yeah, I kind of hate when people use the term student film and they're trying to be dismissive. Because yeah, I think everyone I worked with, even people that I've worked with, I guess, that are like professionals now, but it doesn't really feel any different to me. It's still just collaborating with the right people.
Absolutely. I don't know if you can see my face right now, but honestly, I couldn't agree with that anymore. Even myself, having worked outside with like different groups of people and stuff, I think as long as all the students involved want to be there and want to be involved, then it's just the exact same.
Yeah,
So
totally.
that's very nice to hear as a student. Did you learn anything making your short? I know that's quite a broad question, but like, did you learn anything you can take forward into your oncoming productions or anything of that kind of sort?
I think every time you make something, you learn so much, and I learned a lot because I would say like it's sort of the first film I've made. Like I made little films to get like that I applied to uni with, kind of at the weekends, like just like my pal Andrew, who I still work with now, even like 10 years later, he had a camera, like a DSLR, and we just like run about the town with our pals, like making stuff. It was a bit crazy. But yeah, I think I'd made that, and then I tried lots of different things when I was studying. Like I worked on other people's films as different crew members, and I'd made little documentaries and tried different stuff. But it was the first time that I worked with a crew, so I think there was about 20 people on it, cast and crew, and actually properly just focusing on writing and directing. So it was completely new to me. And yeah, there's stuff like that I think I learned, oh, I would have done that differently or prepared better. But it's kind of all just a learning experience. I think actually what I learned by making it was that, oh, I don't think I'm totally rubbish. Actually, or you kind of like prove to yourself that you can do it a bit.
Yeah.
Like you watch the end thing and think, oh, I don't hate that. Like
done that.
it kind of. Yeah, and if my mum liked it, so I was like, oh, it can't be that bad.
No.
So.
Always trust your mum's instincts.
Yeah.
That kind of leads on well to the next question. The next one is, if you had the opportunity to go back in time and change anything, would you? Don't feel pressured to have any answer.
I don't think that I would change the film. I think when I watch it now, I think maybe just my taste has changed a little bit. So it's 3 years ago that I made it. And when I watch it, I find it a little bit sweet, maybe, or a little bit twee, a bit too nice. But I don't know. It is, but then at the same time, I kind of see it as like at that moment in time, that's what I wanted to make, and obviously, kind of came from me. But I think maybe I'm just getting like older and more cynical or something. So maybe yeah, sometimes. Yeah, I think there's wee things like I hear some of the dialogue and I'm like, oh, that feels a wee bit like I can hear it's written, like it's not maybe the most naturalistic thing. But yeah, no regrets, because I think it's better just to see it as like, okay, at that point in time, this is what I wanted to make.
Yep.
And it captures that kind of moment in time and then move on to the next thing.
Yeah, no, that's a great outlook. And that leads on well to the next question again. Do you have any advice for young filmmakers out there?
Oh, it's hard going. I think my only advice is like just find a way to be making stuff, and find people to work with that you can bounce ideas off of and collaborate with. That's the most important thing, because filmmaking is about collaboration. I think I was really lucky, like when I was a teenager, and I was doing drama stuff, so I met people that were up for acting and things. I met people that were like interested in writing stuff, and then it's like, yeah, oh, my mate's boyfriend, he likes cameras, he'll come and film something. So that was why we were like running about town when we were 15, like making wee films. And I think that's really important, like just find people that are up for trying stuff out and just do it. And I think if you can, like, what's quite hard is, I think, if you're not in college or uni, getting access to equipment and having those collaborators, like that really opens up being able to make more ambitious films for you. So I think that is a good call, that if you can get on a course and be somewhere where you can get kit and have people around and have facilities, like that's going to help you actually maybe make what you want to make.
I'm so glad you just answered that question so well, because I'm going to steal that answer for everyone that people ask me. So we have a couple of questions in the comments here. So someone's commented, really lovely film. The setting is interesting because it has a very retro feel, despite the use of more modern technology like a smartphone in it. How did you conceptualize the area and feel of this story?
Yeah, I think that is a good point, actually. People said that to me before, that it feels quite retro. I think I just really had in my head that I wanted it to feel like a chip shop in a small town, and it's meant to feel like not only is this girl kind of like stuck, not knowing what she wants to do, but she's kind of stuck in this quite like small place where it's the same people that she sees all the time, and that girl comes in and she's kind of like moved to Glasgow, like the big city, and is showing off. And I thought, trying to evoke that feel of it being a small place, it should be a more old-fashioned, traditional chippy. So that's kind of what led me to do that. So I actually, I mean, it's a good point. I didn't really think when I was making it, oh, maybe this looks retro and maybe it's a bit weird, but I kind of just like went with it. I think I just liked the aesthetic and the way it looked, and I just did what I wanted, basically.
No, I think it looks great as well. So my last question here is, where can people learn more about your short film and just you yourself as a director?
If you want to know anything else after this, well, I've got a website. Just look up aliaghafar.com. I think it was linked on the page, but Salt and Sauce is still kind of floating about and screening places, which is really nice. And doing like an online festival like this. And I've got a short film that I've just made that was funded by Scottish Film Talent Network, which is going to be at festivals, hopefully, when there's not the global pandemic. So keep an eye out for that. Yeah, SCUZZ. Yeah, that's right.
I'm excited for that one.
And I'm trying to like write a feature film and start to think a bit seriously about that. So maybe one day. Watch
Great.
this space, I'm going to
Got your
say.
creative cap on.
Yeah.
We just got another wee question here. Could you or have you written the next part of this character's story? So the central character.
Ah. Yeah, that's interesting. Like, people have can ask me that before. I don't, because I guess sometimes when you make a short film, people are like, oh, you know, would you want to make a feature film of that? But I kind of feel with the short films I've made, I'm like, I feel like they're their own little thing, and I don't really want to like revisit the characters. I think what I'm more interested in is looking at, I definitely look at similar themes, and I think in my last short film I have, and in the feature film I'm working on, I'm interested, kind of focused on young women, and also like an idea of this identity crisis, people that feel a bit like lost in the world, or are kind of dreamers and have their head in the clouds a bit. Those are the kind of characters and ideas I'm interested in, but I don't think I would specifically write anything else about Tammy and Salt and Sauce.
Just a wee quick question for myself, actually. There, sorry, we're supposed to. Who is your main influences as a director?
Oh, that's a really hard question.
It is.
It's a good one. I'm a bit funny. We're like, I more have like lots of films that I love rather than specific filmmakers and directors. I would say like what kind of inspired me getting into filmmaking or thinking about it quite seriously. A big inspiration for Salt and Sauce was the director Andrea Arnold. And maybe so much so that I just kind of copied some things she does, but like not as well. Because people always ask, oh, why'd you do that aspect ratio 4:3?
Let me tell you, this is why.
I used to always be like, well, actually, Andrea Arnold said in an interview that it's a really good way to show one character. So that's why. And yeah, but it was also really inspired by, I think, I didn't realise till after, I'm like, oh, you've copied that as well, but Chungking Express by Wong Kar-wai, who's a director I really like. So I think I was really inspired by that. And that's got a girl in a chippy, but in Hong Kong. But yeah, like, I find it really hard to say like who my specific influences are, because I think I'm kind of into a lot of very different things. Like, my favourite film is probably Billy Elliot, so that's which is pretty like mainstream or whatever. And then but then the kind of more art house people I'm inspired by, like Lynn Ramsay, is an amazing Scottish director. But yeah, it all just kind of mixes up in my head, I think, and make something from it.
I've actually always been taught in uni, if you steal from one person, you're a plagiarist, and if you steal from many, you're a genius. So there you go.
Yeah, it's very true. And nothing is original and all that.
That's it. We have another question here from Andrew Perry. Have you ever considered branching out into TV? Is that your friend?
Andrew, that's my friend that has been filming stuff with since we were like 15. Thank you, Andrew.
He wants you to take him on as part of his crew, that's why.
Yeah, exactly. TV, yeah, totally. I mean, I think I'm really excited by loads of, TV that's coming out recently, and like as the idea of doing like a series in a longer format is something I found really interesting. Stuff like Michaela Cole, like her show I May Destroy You, and Phoebe Waller-Bridge's stuff, and there's so much exciting telly that I'm like, oh, it'd be great to be able to do a series. So maybe one day, something, and especially like trying to do something from Scotland, something set in Scotland that is kind of light-hearted and fun and not just totally miserable would be good.
Well, thanks so much for joining us. I've had a really good laugh, actually.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
Hopefully
Thanks
that
everyone for
helped
tuning in and asking
someone.
some questions. Yeah, on behalf of fans, thanks very much, Alia, for joining us, and we wish you luck with your future.
Cheers. Thanks
Keep
very
in touch
much.
and let us know what's going on.
Will do. Cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.